Welcome to Unclogged Conversations. It's powered by Larry Stinson Plumbing. This is a podcast that we're going to do to show how-to videos, informational videos about products and things that we use. My guest is Scott. He's been with me for many years. Today's episode is going to be about just going over our background, how we got into plumbing, and how we met, and what we enjoy about plumbing and all that. So enjoy the show.
It's always good to see the next one's coming up.
Yep. And Scott was one of the first that I had the opportunity to train, and he was one of my first apprentices years ago. Young little lad, long hair. Straight out of high school.
We all got to grow up sometime.
Yep. So I'm Larry Stinson, as an owner and operator of Larry Stinson Plumbing in DFW area. I've been in business for 16 years, going almost 17 in January. So January we'll hit our 17th year, and we're proud of that. We run 6 trucks, large company. So we started this podcast to help our customers and our clients and other people out there to, perform home duties and projects, DIY projects, and learn some stuff about plumbing that people haven't. I started in the early 2000s as an apprentice in Mansfield. Worked there for several years, left plumbing, came back to plumbing, and started my own business in 2008. And we enjoy it. I enjoy plumbing. There's a lot of aspects about it that's awesome. I enjoy the challenges.
Definitely get a lot of those.
I mean, that's one of the, I think the biggest enjoyment of plumbing is figuring out why it's broke, and what it takes to fix it. Start to finish jobs, those are fun. We are often asked to do things that are impossible, and we pull it off.
Yeah.
And so that's what I love about plumbing. Dirty job, very dirty job. You got to be in awkward positions often, and so we don't so much enjoy those sometimes.
Don't so much enjoy those. Yeah, yoga is not a bad after-work hobby.
No. I never do it. But anyways, the biggest thing I probably get out of plumbing is, and at this stage in my career, is training our younger professionals.
It is always good to see the next one's coming up.
Yep. And Scott was one of the first that I had the opportunity to train. And he was one of my first apprentices years ago. Young little lad, long hair, straight out of high school.
We all got to grow up sometime.
Yep. So he came along and worked with me when it was just me. I eventually hired another guy, but it was me and Scott and the other guy. And he decided he'd go do something else. He grass was greener a little on the other side. So he got him some more experience somewhere else, which I encouraged. And
it went fantastic.
Yeah.
That's why
I'm back here. And I got him to come back around 16, 17, somewhere in there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Been back for about 7 years, 8 years almost.
So he came a long way. He's a master plumber here in Texas. I'm proud of that. Was the first plumber that I took from an apprentice to a journeyman to a master, and that's one of my proud accomplishments is that.
Came a long way, learned a lot.
Mm-hmm. And so now we've done it with several of our other technicians. We've taken them from apprentices, tradesmen to journeymen. We hadn't converted. We got one coming up in here in the next year or two that'll be a master again. And we encourage that here. There's a lot of companies that don't encourage that.
Yeah, that was a big problem for a while. Just nobody was getting their master's license because you run the risk of losing your job.
Yeah, and the owners have a false sense of security, I think. I think they think if you get your master's, you'll just immediately go out and open your business and take all your clients. And I believe that if you do a good enough job keeping your clients happy, nobody's going to take your clients. I mean, the ones they do take were never really your clients to start with, has always been my opinion.
Yeah.
And so I encourage people to take that next step. And I encourage even to go to your next level and own your own company. If that's your goal and that's your dream, I'll help you any way I can. And want to see, I mean, there's plenty of plumbing out there.
Oh, yeah. There's enough to go around.
I mean, this
not
trade
enough
is
of us to get it.
Yeah, this trade is lacking in labor. And so there's not enough of us out there to handle everything. And so it's a good thing to have those ambitions, in my opinion, and the ambitions to get your master's, even if you don't have a ambition to own your own plumbing company.
And yeah, I'm proud of my master's license. I don't really have that much interest in opening my own company because, I mean, we already got such a good setup here. But I'm still proud of having my master's license. I wouldn't trade it for the world.
Well, it's always been a little pet peeve of mine. These guys go and they stop at their journeyman's, and I'm like, why not take the next step? So when you go to that client's house, you can go, well, I am a master plumber in state of Texas. I have been plumbing for over 8 years. Because that's the step it takes. That's the amount of time it takes to get your master's is 8 years of being in the plumbing field. Why not be proud of that?
Yeah.
And that's something I wish would change a little bit in the plumbing industry. But, you know, with companies discouraging it is also part of why it doesn't take off.
Yes.
Tell me a little bit about yourself, Scott. Why are you plumbing?
I mean, it's just kind of one of those, I always wanted to work with my hands. Kind of just fell into it when I was younger. Buddy of mine, his stepdad was a plumber, and they needed help one day. I joined up and was like, hey, I kind of like this. I knew nothing about it. I was as green could be. And now I can build a whole house top to bottom, do all the plumbing in it. And I'm just really proud of that. Come a long ways. I mean, my gosh. And people out there, don't sit on your apprentice license. Go get your license as soon as you're ready to go get it.
How long were you an apprentice?
I want to say 6 years.
Should have been 2.
Should have been 2. So stay on top of your paperwork. Stay on top of it. Make sure you're getting what you're worth. Gentleman I worked with before I worked with Larry, was not for me moving up. And I just can't stress that enough. And again, that's why I have no interest in leaving this company. I have a master plumber who pushed me to become a master plumber. And that was kind of unheard of back when I was first coming up.
Yeah.
And just really stay on top of your stuff and be worth what you're worth. So
one of the things that I'm really looking forward to with this podcast and talking about is the technology that has advanced even in the time that I've been in plumbing.
Oh, yes.
And so, what's your favorite thing about that we'll talk about in the future? What's the best technology you think has happened here in plumbing?
Well, it's a little bit of a tough one, but recently I am kind of being sold on the tankless water heaters. I mean, ProPress is amazing. I absolutely love ProPress. I know some people argue against it, but I mean, they'll argue against PEX. They'll argue against anything. ProPress has totally changed my life, but I can still solder if I need to. But what they're doing with these tankless water heaters now is pretty incredible. It's unbelievable how energy efficient they are.
And I totally agree with you on that. There's been a lot of advancements in materials and installation of materials, and some of the stuff that's coming down the pipeline is even more at awe. And there's a lot of stuff we haven't even seen, but the stuff that I've seen and had the privilege of, watching and learning from some distributors and suppliers and stuff, it's very interesting. But I do agree. I think tankless water heaters, I got one in my house. I mean, the technology has changed so much. When they first came out, you were scared to sell them. I was plumbing. I was a journeyman when they pretty much hit the market and were fairly new here in Texas, and they were horrible. They didn't work. They had failure rates, and now they've made so much, even working on them. They used to be crammed in this little bitty box.
Yeah.
And now they're, you actually can get your hands in there and do something with them.
Yeah.
So
they started thinking about the repair guy.
So that'll be one of our very early on episodes is doing tankless installs, repairs, discussing the difference between condensing, non-condensing, and I'm looking forward to that episode. That's probably one of my favorite ones. Filtration systems will be another big one. The advancement of drain cleaning.
Yeah.
I mean, drain cleaning's came a long ways, in my opinion. We look forward to doing. Drain cleaning's always been one of my favorite things. I don't know why.
Yeah.
I guess because I did it a lot when I was early on in my career.
Yeah.
And I felt like I was pretty good at it because we built home, or the company I worked for built homes, and we did a lot of warranty calls for people just moved in on a Friday.
Yeah.
And their servers backed up because a bunch of construction debris and
new house.
Yeah. And so you learn to be quick and efficient with that. And so but the advancement in the tools now, I mean, I never thought you'd be able to clean cast iron.
Yeah. You were stuck with what it was.
Yeah, you ran an auger down in there and a snake down in there, and you got the roots out and told people good luck. You got 5-10 more years. Now I can open that cast iron back up to closer to original size inside there,
yeah,
and give them a little bit more. I mean, depending on the shape of the cast iron, but those kind of things are amazing to me as far as technology. The tools that we use, the PEX has pretty much stayed the same because, I mean, it's only been around pushing 20 years now.
Yeah, since it's been way more common.
Yeah.
I mean, it's what, it was
It was around 06 when it started hitting.
Yeah, I was about to say the late aughts.
Yeah, 06 was when we started seeing. I mean, I remember it as early as 04.
Yeah.
But a lot of cities wouldn't allow it. Or you had to run it overhead and you couldn't run it in the slab.
Everybody was really nervous about it at first.
Yeah.
But they were about PVC when it came out.
Yeah, I mean,
it's just
that's why you still saw houses built in the late 70s, early 80s with cast iron in them. They said they wouldn't do that. That would never last. And here we are 20 years later, and PEX is all you find in a brand new house.
PEX and PVC, that's it.
And so those are, I look forward to highlighting the PEX and the different types of PEX there is.
Yes, because there are multiple ones, and you got to know the difference between them. Mm-hmm. Make sure you buy the right stuff for the right pipe.
And then when, you go into even one of the things we'll do is how we lay out our vans. I take pride in myself. I think I got some of the best laid out vans.
Yeah.
On the market. I
have to stop it every time a new one rolls out, and I end up at a supply house. Everybody wants to come out and see the back of it.
Yep. And so I plan on doing a van episode showing how we lay out.
And you do equip your plumbers better than, and I mean, not just shooting because I work for them, but I've worked for other companies. You equip your plumbers better than anyone else I've ever worked for.
I want my plumbers, techs, whatever you want to call them. I'm not big on the word tech. We're not techs, we're plumbers. But the trade likes to call people techs. Tech is an AC guy or a mechanic. I like my plumbers to show up at a customer's house, a client's house, and be prepared. I don't like trips to the supply house. It wastes the customer's time. It wastes my time. It helps nobody if you don't have the proper stuff. Yeah. And we've came a long ways in this recent year of how we maintain the stock on our trucks, and it seems to really streamline the things going on and being able to produce jobs faster and get out of the client's house faster and let them get on back with their day, and our guys move to another client and make them happy. So,
Yeah.
excited about seeing. We got some changes coming with that, and one of the things my goal is to get some of the suppliers in here and discuss for the plumbers that watch, discuss their things they do to help the plumbers, and when supply has their restock or resupply, Ferguson has a similar thing. I want to get some of them in here to show what they can do. The filtration field, I know that has changed and ever changing.
That's going to be a big one.
Yeah.
You can do a whole episode just on that.
That may take more than one episode.
Yeah.
DIY, I want y'all to give me leave in the comments some ideas you want to see on DIY. We can do some minor water heater repair, toilet repair, but give me some ideas and give me what you want to see us give our advice on. I mean, there's thousands of videos. You can watch 10 of them; they're all done differently. But give me an idea of what you want to see.
Yeah, because we don't mind helping you, and if you get in over your head, give us a call. We're always happy to help, and we don't mind just giving y'all some information, giving you some of the basics. Keep you from having to call us. Call us when you really need us.
I want you to need us in an emergency, or biggest thing I want you to do is you want to upgrade. Those are fun. I don't even know. Going in somebody's house flooded is never fun. They're upset. And they're mad you're there. And so I'd rather you call me and say, I want to redo my kitchen, or I want my bathroom to look brand new, like the new houses.
Yeah.
Those are things we love to do because the finished product is always fun.
Yeah. It is fun just seeing some bare concrete.
And there's a lot of things we can do to bring modern technology to an older house and make it more comfortable.
Mm-hmm.
And so from there is the stopped up drains. I'll probably do a video on some drain cleaning. We'll do some water heater maintenance. That's a big one.
That's a pretty big one.
If people would just maintain their water heaters, they'll last a lot longer. We do offer that service, but most of it can be done by a homeowner. They just don't know how.
Yeah. And if you just don't want to, please call us.
Yeah.
We're happy to come and do it. But most could do it themselves if they wanted to.
Mm-hmm. All right. Well, this is the wrap for our first episode. Then this kind of just lead into what we are and what we're going to do.
And be sure to catch my little segment of the Leak Lounge.
Oh, yes, the Leak Lounge. Do you want to tease anybody with that?
Our first one's probably going to be the dangers of flushing feminine products. Just keep going. But I couldn't believe how many hard spots I was hitting. And finally, the thing kind of relieves a little, but it's still kind of holding water. So I start bringing it back. And as this thing's coming out, you just see these little brown balls on little strings attached to our metal cable. And the cable's spinning. So these things are just windmilling. And I mean, we pulled hundreds. Had to have been hundreds out.
Anyways, that is all for Unclogged Conversations. Don't forget to like and subscribe. And comment. Leave a comment what you want to see.
What do y'all want to see? What do y'all want to look at?
And we appreciate it. Thank you very much.